15th is National Glazed Spiral Ham Day.
Today's lunch menu is mozzarella cheese sticks or cheese knots,
Manager's Choice,
turkey and cheese chef salad,
tuna sandwich,
golden corn.
and California blend.
Tigers in the wild have increased for the first time in 100 years. After a century of decline, the most recent tiger data has revealed that there are about 3,809 tigers in the wild. Here's a video with more on the report.
Imagine a world clawing its way back from ancient time. In 100 years, the world's tiger population is growing. New tigers found since 2010 in the wild, when little more than 3,000 were recorded. Much needed good news after a century of decline, which almost wiped out the 100,000 tigers roaming the Earth's jungles. Now, the big cats are becoming more abundant in the wildernesses of India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Russia, and conservationists are pouncing on the new data, exalting the teamwork of governments, charities, and local communities. But of course, major challenges still remain. In Southeast Asia, for instance, the demand for palm oil has led to major deforestation, devastating the animal's natural habitat in countries, for instance, like Indonesia. To capitalize on the successes and to halt the failures, this week India is hosting a summit of the world's 13 tiger countries in Delhi. Together, they hope to double the tiger population by the year 2022 and show that though tigers can't change their stripes, the world hopefully can.
An Indiana woman was a part of an international scam that tricked people for hundreds of thousands of dollars. People were told they won the Jamaican lottery and needed to send money to the United States address to receive the cash prize. Citizens from around the country sent money to the woman's house in Evansville, Indiana. Police found out about this after an older woman withdrew $100,000 to send to the lady. She was later arrested by police.
The U.S. Air Force is sending a Cold War icon to fight against ISIS. B-52 Stratofortress from Barksdale Air Force in Louisiana arrived at the airbase in Qatar on Saturday for the use against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. Here's a video with more on the story.
Fighting ISIS is a slow and often quite a tricky thing to do, and one of the reasons why the militant group has been so successful is that those combating it are often fractured and at odds with one another. First of all, its core territory spans two countries. So you have two governments, the Iraqi government and the Syrian government, each with their own allies and enemies trying to deal with the problem. Then you have different interests among the groups leading the charge. On the one hand, you have the US and its main European and Arab allies bombing ISIS both in Iraq and Syria. Now, they got a major boost when Turkey joined the coalition. That's not just because Turkish warplanes started bombing ISIS positions, but also because Turkey allowed the coalition to use the bases inside Turkey, like the one in Incirlik. Then you have the Syrians. Their air force has been notorious for allegedly causing a lot of civilian casualties while bombing opposition-controlled areas. But the Syrian military has also conducted many airstrikes against ISIS in places like Raqqa, but also in Palmyra, which was captured by the militant group. The Syrian government's main ally on the ground is Iran, which has been training pro-regime militias to fight ISIS and other groups. Iran has also been helping the Iraqi government organizing Shia militias there. Then you have both the Syrian and the Iraqi Kurds who have made major gains against ISIS. But many of these groups and countries simply have no trust in each other, and that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to start a concerted effort to beat back ISIS.
Sports news. Last night, 8th grade softball won 18-10. 7th grade softball lost, and 8th grade baseball lost. But lacrosse beat Lafayette 13-3. Great job. 3 schools competed at a track meet last night. Girls got second and boys got third. Now back to our anchors.
Thank you, CJ.
To commemorate April being an Autism Awareness Month, here's a video explaining more about the disability.
and actions. We decide who our friends are and how we treat them. We decide how we treat those who aren't our friends. How do you treat kids with autism? Autism is a difference in the way a person's brain is wired. Even though kids with autism don't look any different than you or me, because their brain sends and receives messages differently, they might relate in unusual ways to people who have unexpected reactions to their environments. Dalton and Grayson are good at math. They can do problems in their head and above their grade level. But Dalton has to think really carefully about what he did to come down. Take tests in his classroom with the rest of the students, because he can be distracted quickly, and he needs a little more time to finish the questions.
When I get anxious or angry, I have things I do, like breathing, rocking back and forth, counting to 10, and squeezing my hands together. I also think of happy thoughts. If I don't get the time to do those things, the thoughts start racing through my head so fast that I can't make them stop. It's like most people's brains think in a straight line, but mine is all squiggly.
In school, I have autism, which makes me really good at math, so I do math a grade ahead than most people do. And so when people we're walking in the hallway and I'm taking a test or quiz, I get distracted easily, and it's hard for me to get back and start taking the quiz again or test. So I take the test or quiz in a special room.
People with autism communicate in a lot of different ways. Most people with autism can understand everything you say, but they have a hard time making conversation. So if you know someone with autism who doesn't use words to communicate, it's not like he doesn't have anything to say. You might just have to be a little more flexible about the way you communicate with him.
My brother Sam has autism. He wants to talk to other people, but mostly about stuff he likes. Lately, that has a lot to do with movies. So if Sam comes up to you and tells you the name of a show he likes, he's trying to start a conversation. Sometimes he uses lines or scenes from movies to explain the way he's feeling. It's easier for him to relate to characters in a movie than people in real life sometimes.
Think for a minute about all the ways you communicate that don't have anything to do with the words you use. The expression on your face, the tone of your voice, and the gestures you use are a big part of getting your point across. Those ways of communicating don't make sense to people with autism, and often neither do sarcasm or some of our jokes. This can really make kids with autism feel stressed out when they're trying to communicate. Most of us know when we need to take. Can't, we know how to deal with uncomfortable situations. People with autism have a hard time navigating their emotions and choosing their responses.
I have troubles with my autism. For example, one time I was in social studies and we were immigrants and reading a book about them. I was thinking of a funny part from a movie and sort of laughed out loud to myself. And I wasn't trying to offend anybody, but a boy in my class thought I was being racist and making fun of immigrants. I tried to explain that my autism makes my brain and body act differently, but he didn't care at all that I was upset. He kept saying that I was making fun of him, even though I wasn't. I just got so angry and started to cry. I wish I didn't do it in front of my friends, but I knew I wasn't a crybaby, and I do not know what else to do in these moments.
Conditioning workouts are currently available for potential freshman football players. Join Coach Morris on Tuesday mornings. If you cannot make the Tuesday morning workouts at LC, you are expected to attend workouts every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. in the new gym.
Don't miss out on another year of orchestra. 7th grader students who did not take orchestra this year but are interested may sign up for beginning orchestra next year as 8th graders. If you have already filled out your elective sheet, Ms. Nieto in C132, and she will make sure to get your orchestra schedule added.
Lawrence Central Drama Department will be performing the Music Man April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. Tickets are $10 in advance and $12 at the door.
The LC Drama Department will also perform one-act plays May 9th and 10th at 7 p.m. The cost is $6 in advance and $8 at the door.
Best Buddies Club wants you to know about the Indiana Best Buddies Friendship Walk taking place Sunday, April 24th. All are invited. Permission slips and registration forms should be turned in to the main office. You must register online at bestbuddiesfriendshipwalk.org. Transportation will be provided from Belzer to the Wright River State Park. The bus leaves at 9:45 a.m. and will return at 1. All Best Buddies Club members should come.
Today is the last day that you can purchase IDs at lunch for $1.
Remember to tell Mr. Smith or Miss Shelton how much you appreciate them, as this is Assistant Principals Week.
Interesting fact, a crocodile can easily digest a steel nail.
On this day in history, in 1912, the Titanic sunk, killing 1,517 and injuring 700.
Quote of the day, Abraham Lincoln once said, "I walk slowly, but I never walk backwards."
Have a great day, Bruins.